What's up, y'all? It's Tari Henson.
And I'm Darren DeWitt Henson. And you are watching and listening to the
In the Groove podcast.
Today we have an amazing show. We have the silky voice of Mr. Gary Little G Jenkins.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody
Man,
doing
welcome.
today?
Great.
It's official guest.
Yeah, you are. And it's exciting. I mean, I've known you for a number of years and been listening to your music and your soulful sounds. But what I want to get right into is, where did you get your style, your desire? Where did it happen? I just recently read that you grew up in Tennessee.
Yes, Nashville, Tennessee, born and raised.
Tell us about it. What was that like?
Well, you know, Nashville is known for country music, but little do they know, there's a lot of soul in Nashville, Tennessee.
There's black people in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Black people. I'm talking about like
Proof right
our
here.
skin color black.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
talking about my caramel colored white black. I'm talking about us black.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Talk to me.
Yeah, man, growing up in Nashville was an amazing thing, being the baby of 7 children. 5 boys, 2 girls.
So that means your parents
Oh,
needed a
wow.
TV.
Yep. Mama, Madea, is what we call my mama, and my grandmother. They raised us, all 7 of us.
Wow.
So I got an opportunity to learn a lot, and to learn early, how to maneuver, and I was protected a lot. My family was very overprotective of me because at the early age of 5, I started singing.
So that happened very early. So now, was there music in your family, or was it just you that wanted to sing?
Well, it's music in the family. My mother was a soloist at my church, Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church, and she would have parties on the weekends, and so she would wake me up out of my bed at 5 years old, and I'd get up and I'd sing for the people at the party and dance for them, and then she'd put me right back to bed.
Oh, wait a minute. So not what? Not
Sounds
now.
familiar
Yeah,
right
it sounds
there.
familiar. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold on a minute.
I saw that. You remember when we watched that movie with Aretha
Aretha
Franklin, and they were getting her up. So it was the same for you.
Yes.
Things like that were happening.
Yes.
So I have to ask, because, when I was doing, some research, I saw that you taught yourself how to play piano. Is that true?
Yeah, self-taught piano. I started out self-taught on guitar.
Wow.
And really, God bless me.
So was it you just heard
God
the
given
music and you
talents.
knew how to translate that on the instrument, or how does that happen?
Yeah, I was picking things out, at an early age. I had this little organ. It was about this big, and it had some little buttons over here that had the chords and stuff. And it had a little book that came with it. And I remember one of the songs distinctively, "Let there be peace on earth, and
Wow.
let it begin with me." So I just started, doing stuff like that. And then music was just in me. It's just like I couldn't get enough of it. Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway,
Talk about it.
the Isley Brothers, the list goes on.
Just baby making music.
Yes, on to B.B. King, even rock music. I was just a lover. Prince is one of my musical mentors. Rest his soul.
That's right. Well, I worked with Prince, so
Yes.
I'm very aware of the passion and love he had for music. And if you were inspired by that, I want you to tell our listeners today. So a lot of us always, as you know, we grew up in church, and the soulful sounds of the organ, the choirs, were really what pushed a lot of people into what I consider to be the early fame of their career, because you were church stars at that time, right? Like when you sang in church.
Yes. I started singing at church at the age of 7. And they started calling me Little Gary because the head musician at my church, his first name was Gary. So that's where
Can't have any confusion.
That's where the little G come from.
where
It ain't
So
because you
cool.
short like me, but it was because you were shorter than somebody else at the time. Because we short. And I'm
Right.
okay.
Yes.
I'm okay with
The
it.
6 footer club, baby. That's what we talking about. The 6 footer club. What you want? Woo-hoo!
Well, I'm all of 5'3", so I guess.
No, you in the 6 footer club. Too.
Everything 6 foot and under, right? So you started singing in church
At the age of 7.
at the age of 7.
And the musician at my church actually was a musician for Dr. Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones Gospel. So I became a member of the choir at Love Train at the age of 8. So it was like a 300 voice choir. You know, my mama was in it, my sister was in it. You know, so some of my brothers and sisters could sing also. We used to play around and do like the Jackson 5. We used to call ourselves the Jenkins 5. All of this kind of stuff, you know. But nobody ever really wanted to take it as fully as I did.
So now where does secular music come in now? Shape that picture for us with
Wait a
with secular
minute.
music.
You gotta understand, he dogged me out for using that term, secular music, and here he go dropping it in the interview.
So
Where does the R&B come from? Let's talk about that.
So my wife grew up in Oregon, right? And it was very similar to your upbringing. It was,
Why you gotta say it like that,
It was
though?
Oregon, right?
It's not the Bronx.
where I grew up, and we know that proudly, BX forever. But she grew up in Oregon, and so when she started listening to other music, it wasn't taken so well in her house. And so when I asked about, her interest in music, she was like, well, I didn't listen to secular music until, and I'm like, what?
What now?
What kind of music? what? She said secular music, and I almost said, "What's that?"
Right.
What genre is that?
But
Yes.
but
Where
really,
did it
when
come
did that
from?
kick in?
Well, it kicked in at an early age too. Like I said, my mama would be cleaning up on Saturdays, and she loved her music. So I listened to everything from B.B. King to Donny Hathaway to Stevie Wonder to the Jackson 5 and all that. So I was singing all of those songs, as she was playing them, and things. So then when she took me to church, so I did that. And so on through school, I started to learn the theoretical part of the music, so I can read,
Read music.
So you can actually read music, unlike a lot of people who just play by ear, right? You can actually read.
Yeah, I learned to read a little bit. It's not my best forte because,
Right.
I sometimes it kind of puts me in a box and makes me get away from my creative mode. And it's
Right.
weird like that sometimes.
But there's great value in that. I mean, because I know a lot of people, they play, but they can't read music. And one of the things for me that I learned early on, everybody knows that I wanted to work with Michael Jackson, but it wasn't just about street dancing. You had to do more than street dance if you wanted to be an ensemble dancer for Michael Jackson. So to me, that sounds a lot like that, where not only did you play music, but you learned to read music. There's a little bit more value in that. We got to keep it real now, right?
Yeah.
There's value in reading music. Like you could play with someone else, if you had to, because you could read notes. So
I had the opportunity to be able to play behind Dizzy Gillespie
Oh, okay. Now we talking.
in college,
Say it again.
Tennessee State University.
Dizzy Gillespie.
Yes, the Tennessee State University Jazz Ensemble, world renowned.
So
Tell us about that experience.
So what was that like as a black man going into probably a predominantly Caucasian space? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he actually came to Nashville. And so we had the opportunity to play behind him there, but it was a mixed crowd and everything, so I was the pianist in the jazz band. It's funny because I was doing a lot of stuff, talent shows and stuff in high school and everything, and then people would ask me to play for them, when they're performing and everything, and I would win a few talent shows and everything. But when I got to Tennessee State, Professor Benjamin Kirk, well, first of all, high school, Mr. Robert Churchwell, Whites Creek Comprehensive High School, Nashville, Tennessee. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. So I was in the jazz band there, and I would switch up from bass sometimes to guitar, and then sometimes to piano a little bit. But then when I got to college, Mr. Professor Kirk, he just handed me the book. Pow. Go learn it.
Go learn it. Hard Love.
Hard Love.
Hard Love.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So I want to fast forward to 1992. So where in America R&B is popping right now. You go to an audition.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Wow, y'all did y'all's homework.
Well, you know, we have to come correct.
That's beautiful. What is that, velvet? Yeah, man. So I was in Chitlin circuit bands in Nashville. And I was playing in the church on Sunday mornings, on the weekends. I'm at the Modern Era Club, and then you know the Chitlin circuit is a 150-mile radius, right? Okay, so got the information that there was an audition being held. My managers at the time, Miss Connie Donnell, she happened to know Louise Ferguson, and Louise and Lonnie. Lonnie was Keith Sweat's road manager, and so they were managing Silk at the time. You know, they were doing the talent shows and stuff in Atlanta and things like that at the schools and stuff. So they had a picnic, 4th of July picnic. Keith came in, and they were singing to some kids in the basement at Lonnie and Louise's house. So he came in and started singing with them. The green net, you know, Keith's
I
voice.
saw you last night, right?
Oh, you stand there. What's up, Keith?
Love you, Keith. That's my man right there. I was in one of his films. We're going to talk about that later.
Yes, sir. And so he felt like the group needed another stronger voice on the lead realm. They did a song on his album, and it was called Give Me What I Want. And so after that, he held auditions, and so I got wind of it. They called, and so we drove down. It was on a Sunday. Drove down. It was about 9 of us that auditioned. And I just recently found out that one of the people that auditioned was CeeLo Green.
Wow.
I did not
Wow.
know that.
Wow.
And so out of the 9 of us, I went in. I was working on a project with Famous Music Publishing in Nashville. So I had 3 songs that I had completed, you know, that were finished, that were original.
So Silk was already organized as a group, but once you auditioned, you came in as the
fourth
new
member.
Silk, right? The new Silk, and it got silkier because once you joined that group, I mean, if you're talking about songs like Meeting in My Bedroom, like
Freak Me, Lose
right.
Control. I mean, multi-platinum, right?
Oh, I mean, you talking about babies being born. I mean, I remember in 1992, because, you know, I was dancing and choreographing at that time, and I remember how big and how hot, and you could not turn on the radio without hearing those songs. What did that feel like coming from Nashville, Tennessee, working with Keith Sweat, getting into the studio, creating a mega hit that was all over America, right?
Yes.
And everybody now knows your face. Tell me what that feels like.
Well, you know, I had the opportunity, you know, to be traveling around, you know, and so I was kind of used to it, but this is on a whole nother different plateau. I was hungry. I was determined. After they told me I got that part, January 1992, on my birthday, Super Bowl Sunday, I moved to Atlanta. And there you have it, man. It was such a great experience. You know, I was doing my thing in Nashville, but on this level right here, it was Keith and his brilliancy and his expertise.
Because the Atlanta sound was popping at that time. I mean, everything. You had Jermaine Dupri, right, doing his thing with Escape. You had TLC. I mean, Atlanta was popping, right?
Yes.
And so now you're put into the heartbeat of this movement that was coming out of Atlanta. You're with Keith Sweat. He's backing you. You've got, I mean, the members of the group, they had great vocal ability, have still today, great vocal ability. So now you guys have gone the test of time. You've had your hits, you know, you move the Black diaspora forward, you move music forward, and now you got your new project, G7. Talk to us about G7.
G7, no parole. G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. I'm the 7th child. 7 is the number of completion. So that's why my new name for this project is G7.
Now, is it a new project because you and the members weren't getting along, or the music industry changed? You guys, you know, we don't see certain people.
What happened?
Yeah, like tell us what happened.
What happened?
Well, see, what happened
What had happened was
Tell us the real story behind the music.
Well, the real story behind the music is, you know, it was always known, you know, that I had aspirations to do some different things. As a matter of fact, there was a project before this one that I did a few years ago that was called Gary Little G Jenkins, The Other Side.
your
And the
solo
reason-
album.
Yes, solo album. Still with the group,
Mm-hmm.
even now, still with the group. But you have to learn how to diversify in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't keep yourself in a box. You know, and I use New Edition
Yeah,
as the
absolutely.
best
You
example.
got Bobby Brown, you got BBD, and you got New Edition, and you got Ralph Tresvant. They broke it up in parts, right?
Yeah.
But still did their shows together as New Edition.
Yes. And so
So
we're on a mission. I'm not the only one who's doing a solo project right now because Jimmy's working on some stuff. John is working on some stuff. What's up, guys? You know, everybody's, you know, trying to diversify and do some different things. And so the umbrella gets even larger
That's right.
and the opportunities get even larger.
This is one of the things that I learned a long time ago that I think make a huge difference in this industry is show business is a compound word. Show is what you do. The business behind of it is what you need to take care of. So it truly is a compound word.
Message.
that's the word.
Very much so.
So I want to know, you know, besides music, what are some of your other creative outlets? What are things that you enjoy doing just aside from, you know, singing and performing?
Writing, producing. I was in the lab earlier. Producing. I like regular stuff. I like movies. I like bowling. I like pool. I like axe throwing.
No, hold on. We're not just gonna fly by that because I mean I know
You got the axe thrown. He was like, nah.
I'm like, hold on. Before the axe lands, you're an actor as well, and a damn good actor.
What? Coming from you?
I'm just saying. I've seen your work. I know what you do, and I've seen you play character roles. And we've had conversations about characters. Talk to me about you moving into the acting space. Number one, why and what you're looking to get out of it. Because, you know, a lot of times people think you could just show up on set and act. It doesn't work that way. I tell people all the time, as an actor, you have to study your craft. You have to sharpen your skills, and you have to allow yourself to tap into your emotions. Okay? And that's the key. So tell our audience about some of those things that you use and experiences that you had as an actor that help you, because you're just as an amazing actor as you are a vocalist.
Man, I appreciate that coming from you, Doc. Well, what happened was actually the acting part got overshadowed by the singing and the music. So for me, even growing up, you know, going through school, acting has always been a part of me. You know, I would watch things on TV, you know, I'd pick out my favorite actors, you know, and things like that. And it's always been a part of me, entertainment, period, you know. But with it getting overshadowed, you know, I wanted to take the opportunity to spread my wings a little bit more. And I'm trying to spread them even more now.
Shout out to Troop, Spread My Wings.
Yeah. And, you know, even from high school, I was a freshman. I went out for the wrestling team, made it. They wanted me to play running back on the football team and everything and stuff like that because of my stature.
Yeah, you do great running back.
Legs and everything and stuff like that. So I made the wrestling team, and then I saw that they were holding auditions for Hello Dolly. So,
Hello, Dolly. Old musical. That, I mean, that's, you know, it predates us when it was done, but really a historical show.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
yes. So I went and auditioned. I was up against a senior for the male role, for the lead male role, Horace Vandergilt. I got it. I didn't go back to the wrestling team. So I did that, and my leading lady was a senior. So that happened. And so from then on, you know, I did a class, you know, in high school and everything. And that's where it came from. And then on through college, I did operas. I did a couple of operas.
So you had early relationships with acting before TP.
Yes.
So I want to talk about TP because everybody can't have this conversation. And when I say TP, I'm not talking about T-Pain. I'm talking about the one and only Tyler Perry. So who you worked with.
Yes.
So I have never worked with Tyler Perry. I've had meetings and conversations with him. And I know how loving and giving he was in terms of offering information. And, you know, wanting to help. I had a meeting with him one time and you know, I had Darren's Dance Crews out years ago, and he told me, he said, I was inspired by what you did with that DVD. This is Tyler Perry saying this to me.
Yes.
And, you know, I didn't think about it the way that he said it, but Tyler is a man who always had vision and he trusted the process. And I want you to speak to, you know, some of the things that you experienced working with him early on, right? Because it was quite a few years ago, but early on, the earlier Tyler, before, you know, the success that he has now. Yeah. So talk to us about that, because you did his stage plays, right?
Well, what led to me meeting him was I started out doing the stage plays with Michael Matthews. I'm sure you know that name.
Yes, I do.
Marvin Webster.
Yes, I do. Marvin, shout out to Marvin.
Guys.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Yeah, they gave me my first shot in '97, and so I did a numerous amount of plays with them. You know, alongside like the Mary Marys and the Isaac Careys, and the list goes on. Big Red, Roy Fagan, you know, a lot of people and stuff like that. And so when I came across Tyler, we hooked up and he said that he had something that he wanted me to, you know, read for. He gave me
Ginkgo Biloba is what he should have gave you.
A script?
he gave me the DVD of the first play.
Well, I like guessing
What was
games.
it- what was the name
Synopsis,
of it?
breakdown,
Yeah.
family reunion,
What was the one before?
sides.
One of the plays.
yeah,
One of the
yeah,
plays.
yeah.
One of the plays. One of the plays.
I just drew a blank.
We're going to get you some Ginkgo Biloba.
Yes, sir.
What's in these cups?
So went over it. I read for the part. Got it. Man, working with Tyler is an experience.
Talk to us about it. Tell us about that.
It's quite an experience. He is a stickler, cool as a fan. You know, you want to work with him. You know, and when you think about the plateau that he took, you know, started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yep.
You know, and you could see that, and you could see the diligence and the work in him, and he makes you create and mold that person, you know, and strictness is what's needed, you know, like that, you know,
Especially when you're dealing with characters, right? You've got to drop into your characters. Like as an actor, you may be playing a character that's completely opposite from you, and you have to lose yourself in that character. And sometimes people think you're crazy when you're in your character, but it's what it takes. Yeah. But can you talk about to some of the vision that Tyler might have, you know, helped you see, right? Because, you know, Dr. Miles Monroe said, vision pulls you through when you can't see so far, right? So you hold the vision and you trust the process.
Yeah.
You got to hold the vision and trust the process, right? We heard Steve Harvey say, if you're going through hell, don't stop there. Keep going.
Keep going.
Right? And sometimes we have to go through hell to get to where we want to go. So Tennessee, now Silk, right? All the performing. Talk to us about the road, please. Like, let's keep it real.
Because I heard some things.
The women on the road. What was that like? The fanfare, the groupies. Like, let's keep it real on In the Groove.
He said, "How real?"
Let's talk.
How real?
Yeah, let's talk about what happens. Backstage. Let's talk about the hotels, the lobbies. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about what it
He
was
said,
really
"Come on,
like,
man, your wife is present."
Let's talk about what that's
Yeah,
like.
man. See what had happened. Was,
She know what it is, right?
I've heard some stories.
Right?
We'll
Let's talk.
get into that
I
one
was on
day.
tour most of my life, so we want to hear about that. We want to
Like
hear about
a
the
memorable moment, like
we
a
want to hear
moment
about the
that you
silky
just,
stories.
You wouldn't believe it.
You got to have one good story, G. Come on.
He
You
got
gotta
a few.
have one.
He got
I think
a few.
he got more than one. He got a few good stories.
been quite a few stalkers in my career.
Because I mean, think about it. The lead singer, they always gonna go after you, right? You got the vocals, right? You the strong man. Like they coming after you. They coming after you.
Well, I had to share the wealth.
Okay.
A little bit,
I understand.
Man, it's
We make mistakes.
it's crazy coming.
And they're not mistakes, but sometimes it's not the best of what we do.
Experiences.
They're experiences.
Of course, when you're as young as we were coming into the industry, and it happens to all of us, you get sidetracked and you get amazed.
Yeah.
All these fine, different types of, beautiful women and everything.
Long hair,
I do
short
know,
hair,
I do
big,
know.
small, light skin, dark,
Yeah, ooh.
right? Everybody was coming after us. I remember even as a dancer, right? Like dancers back up for groups, we thought that women were a part of entertainment. Like we really thought that women were the gift that you got for entertaining. Like it was just a part of it. It wasn't
the
something
gift-
that we
the
thought
gift
was bad.
package.
Yeah, it was like the gift for you.
Yeah.
When we were on tour, we couldn't wait to get to the next city to find the next girl.
Yeah, it was like normal. If it didn't happen, something was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
We're not hot. What's happening? What's going on? You start thinking a whole lot of things.
Yeah, it was a par for the course. It was just something that came along with it,
I don't, deal with all of it, but the old saying, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
It's all a part of it.
All
Yeah.
of that stuff happens for real. You just have to be the kind of person to be strong enough to be able to handle it, without going crazy with it. Like in the beginning, for me, I wilded out a little bit.
Of course.
Everybody does it. Everybody wilds out. But at a certain point, I started to think. And then I was like, well, the groupie word, you know what I'm saying? I don't use the groupie word.
That's not what you feel and what you see. So you did that. You were
was
on
like-
tour.
Man, the lobbies after the show,
Was crazy.
it's like, how do they know what hotel you're staying at?
Yeah. Oh, they find out.
Especially
It was quite an amazing experience. It was also kind of scary at times, because you never know what's really on people's minds sometimes.
And back in the
you
days,
told us about stalkers.
back in the days, we ain't wrap it up like we got to wrap it up now. Back in the days, we was, winning and skinning. So, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, look, man. So speak to that. Did you guys ever meet a girl where both of you liked the same girl on tour? That had to happen.
Oh yeah,
Come on.
That's happened on many occasions.
Okay.
And then girls would choose, I guess, or whatever.
Was there any Karen and Sharon going on? Come on, I want
we
to
wanna know.
Was there Karen and Sharon going on? I mean, I know in my past I was offered Sharon, and I was like, nah, I don't get down like that.
Right.
It was literally that simple. There was a girl that that I was feeling. My man was feeling her. Real talk. And she was like, well, I like both of you. And I was like, you can have that. Like, I don't do that. Like, that wasn't my stilo. I didn't get down like that.
Right. There were some presentations,
Mm-hmm.
but, I wouldn't,
That wasn't your thing.
Yeah.
Not all sharing is caring.
Yeah, right. But you have your communal people.
Right. So you had people back in the days that you met that you liked, and maybe something that happened. All performers have gone through it. I know that to be true.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
I'm the type
You over here making him sweat, feeling all uncomfortable.
I'm the type of person I like to keep it happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to let anyone deter me from
who you are.
Yeah, from who I am and where I'm trying to get to.
That's right.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's right. No. That's really important to know who you are and how you stand. And that's what I mean. I didn't succumb to that stuff either. And it was presented to me. That's what I know from you. You're a stand-up man. You stand on your square. Music is your life. You love it. Entertainment is your life. Actor, producer, writer, right? Vocalist. And you come as you are, but you don't stay as you are. I've seen you growing all of these years. And that's what I'm so proud of you about. You know what I'm saying? But like we said here, we gonna keep it real. We're gonna stay in the groove of what's real, and we know what the road was like back in the days. I know I had many situations in my life as an entertainer, and that's why we tell these young guys now that we meet, stay focused on the job. The girls will always be there, right? The more popular you become, the more famous you become, the more women will be after you. That's not the rising star you're looking for. What you want to do is give the world your artistry, right?
Now, I will say this,
part.
Coming in as a youngster, I fell privy to a lot of it. Like I said, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's right.
Done a lot in my career, but there's an old saying: you can't get money chasing women.
That's right.
But you can get women chasing money.
That's right.
So at a young age, you're all willy-nilly. I was all willy-nilly, wilding out. Everything, doing my things, different girls in every city and all this kind of stuff. We did it. Truth.
Yep.
You admitted it.
That's right.
We had a ball. But at one point I got to it. I was like, now you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have to take care of 15, 20 women. You ain't going to have no money, bro. So what you going to do? But, so the more I got into that, it seems like it was the more that kept coming.
That's right.
When that thing gets right there on that finger,
that's right.
It gets worse.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know. They don't slow down. They speed up for some reason. They look at the ring and go full steam ahead.
Yeah.
But
you know what it is?
I think it's the challenge of he must be a good man because he was ready to commit.
Stability.
Yes, it's stability. That's what they're looking for.
Yes, the women are looking for stability, and they're looking for
maturation.
Yeah,
maturity. With age comes wisdom.
Yeah,
so
I would definitely agree with that.
G, tell us where you are right now. What are we gonna expect from little G in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, you're gonna see me more on the screen, acting. I'm still gonna be putting out great music for you guys. The next 5 years, you're going to see me plateau to entrepreneurship in a sense, getting more on the business side. Having aspirations of creating an agency for artist development, and things like that.
Dope.
Look out in the near future for the Exec Squad.
Nice.
And it's going to be a conglomerate of acting, music production, dancing, which I'm going to talk to you about, dancing, rehearsal hall.
Just a Motown, right?
Yes.
Like Berry Gordy used to have it in Motown.
It's time for it to come back.
You'd learn how to interview, you'd learn how to dance, you learn how to present yourself, you learned music, and you practiced your craft there under that umbrella.
Yes, because they throw these kids out here these days. They just throw them out there. You're on your own.
Tell our audience where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Instagram at Gary Lil G, Facebook Gary Lil G Jenkins, Twitter Gary G Jenkins, etc., etc.
Nice.
All right. Well, we definitely enjoyed having you on the show today, and we hope that you guys enjoyed listening to the interview. We definitely want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? If you have any questions, you can hit us up on Instagram. And cheers to our second episode. I'm Tari Henson.
And I'm Darren DeWitt Henson, and you've been grooved.
And I am so happy to be here.